Laura Kinney, aka X-23, aka Wolverine, has a new series that just came out this year called Generation X-23. We're going to review the first issue. This is actually the second issue because I got a variant of the first issue and it's actually been shipped off to be signed by Scotty Young. So very excited for that. This is issue number 2, but for this video, we're gonna review issue number 1. Laura Kinney is one of those characters who kind of crept up on me to be one of my favorite characters. I just realized like one day, most of my comic wall and most of the comics I have are actually Laura Kinney comics or adjacent to her, and so she's just a character that I've naturally gravitated towards and really loved reading about. I love the Tom Taylor run of All New Wolverine, and I really enjoyed the Laura Kinney Wolverine series that came out last year. I actually have all 10 issues and I love them so much. So I was really bummed when I found out that this series was ending after 10 issues, but I was relieved to find out that there was going to be a new Laura Kinney series ongoing with this new one, Generation X-23, but still kind of skeptical because it is a new creative team. So how does this stack up to the previous Laura Kinney stories that have been published? This issue picks up with Laura and Gabby saving a young mutant from a crowd of anti-mutant bigots. Very classic X-Men thing to do, and I always love seeing it. But as they are fighting these bigots, time starts to like shatter. You're looking through like a diamond and slowly people are being split and you're seeing young versions of themselves mixed with older versions of themselves. This is happening for Laura and Gabby as well. Eventually they fight off these bigots and Laura tells Gabby to get this young mutant to safety. And there's this funny bit where this young mutant is like, am I an X-Men yet? And keeps asking about it. It's very funny. But Gabby gets her to safety as Laura goes to explore what's going on. And immediately Laura starts thinking like, is this Kidden? And Kidden is a mutant who Laura has known for a long time and has had a relationship in the most recent NYX run, who basically can manipulate time. And so Laura's like, this must be Kidden. And so she follows down this trail and there are a bunch of like robots that look like her as X-23, and she fights some of them and eventually finds who she thinks is Kidden, only to be revealed that it's not Kidden at all. This person recognizes her, but she calls her X-23, and Laura's like, it's actually just Laura now. And she's like, okay, well, there's an emergency going on, people are dying at this facility. And before Laura can ask her any more questions, she rapidly ages and decomposes, and then you see on her skull X80. Laura's like, okay, let me track her scent to find where this facility is. So Laura eventually finds the facility, and who shows up but Gabby. Turns out Gabby ended up, after she got that young mutant to safety, followed Laura, and so now they're back reunited, and they're breaking into this facility. And in this facility, there's a bunch more robots that look like Weapon X's, and they fight them, and they eventually find this group of what appears to be mutants. And there's a young one that's like, X-23, have you come to join us? And that's how it ends. So a lot of questions for sure, but definitely a very compelling and interesting story. Wolverine stories, whether they're with Logan or Laura, can get very repetitive, but I genuinely have no idea where this is going, which is exciting. I really love that Gabby, Laura's little sister, is in this. I love their dynamic ever since all the way back in All New Wolverine, and that dynamic and chemistry is all still there. So the writers get the assignment. And something really cool that they did with Gabby in this issue is they appear to have aged her up a bit. Where Gabby in All New Wolverine was very much a child, Gabby here feels a lot more like a tween or like early teenager, which is cool for, you know, character progression, but also just continuity's sake. I'm also a huge fan of Laura and Kidden's romantic relationship. I loved what they did with the pair in NYX last year, and so I'm really excited to see that developed more and to know that Kidden is going to be featured in this comic. And the art looks really great as well. I feel really lucky to say that none of Laura Kinney's solo series have ever had bad art. I also feel like the dialogue flows really well and is true to the history of these characters and really helps with the immersion into the story because it genuinely feels like two real people talking. And by the way, there are a lot of funny jokes in this book as well. I found myself laughing a couple times. What I was most worried about was that with the new creative team, they wouldn't have a good understanding of this character, but that appears to be not true at all. The creative team clearly knows and understands Laura and her history very well. And what really sold me on that was this really cool panel, actually a couple of panels that had Laura going through time through this dimension, and you see all of these really pivotal moments from her character and her history displayed in little shapes on the screen, all the way down to when Laura was eating takeout with Gabby in All New Wolverine like 10 years ago. So the creative team appears to really understand this character, and that makes me super excited for the rest of this series. Overall, the first issue of Generation X-23 is doing something new and exciting, yet still feels like a continuation of Laura Kinney Wolverine, which itself felt like a continuation of All New Wolverine. So I'm very happy to see that this character is in good hands and excited to see where it goes. I'm giving Generation X-23 issue 1 6 out of 6 Snicks.